Hi, today we're going to be talking about what happens if you are injured at work and someone shows up to the doctor's office and wants to come into the appointment with you. And who the hell is this person? Why are they wanting to come into the appointment? Do you have any rights on it? They say that you're their case manager. And so today we're going to be talking about what happens if you're injured on the job here in Colorado and all of a sudden a case manager shows up. What are your rights? Hi, my name is Kaplan Morrell. I'm with Kaplan Morrell. Since 1995, we've been helping injured and disabled workers in Colorado get the benefits that they deserve when they or their loved ones have been injured on the job in Colorado. And if you find this video helpful, or if you want to have any questions, please like, subscribe, comment questions below. We try to address all of your questions. And with that, let's dive into today's topic. All right, so in workers' compensation, when you are injured, there's a lot of people that all of a sudden get involved in your life. And one of them is the adjuster from the insurance company, and another is the doctor who is treating you. And there is also sometimes a person called a case manager. Sometimes they're a nurse case managers. Other times they're just not a nurse, but they're a case manager. And they may contact you and they may say to you, hey, I'm here to help make sure everything goes smoothly. I'm here to make sure that you get the care you deserved. And you think, well, wow, that's great. Let's get it done. Or maybe they're just going to say to you, hey, I'm here to make sure everything's done and I'm here to help you. And you may think, well, this person is on my side. Or they may even make it sound like you don't even have a choice. They're there to attend the appointments, etc., whether you like it or not. So let's talk about what case managers are. Let's talk about what your rights are. And let's also talk about when you should say, hey, case manager, goodbye. Get out of my case. Get out of my life. All right. So case managers, as you can imagine, work injuries can be pretty complicated, not just from a legal point of view, but also from a medical point of view. And oftentimes insurance company adjusters, they don't have any medical training. They're not the ones who are able to assess what's going on. And so oftentimes insurance companies will hire a case manager, sometimes also a nurse case manager, in order to help manage the claim. And that helps, theoretically, everyone. It helps the injured worker because the injured worker understands what's going on, their care is on track, things are happening, there's some awareness of what's going on. It helps the insurance company because, again, if things aren't on track, they're going to have to pay more, either because they're paying more in lost wage benefits or they're paying more in terms of care that's going kind of all over the place and things are getting delayed. Maybe the injured worker isn't getting better as quickly as they normally would. And it kind of helps the doctors in the system because now there's another person to add to help communicate with the injured worker. This is particularly true if the injured worker isn't savvy or familiar enough with the medical system. Maybe they've got issues making appointments, keeping appointments. Maybe they speak a different language. And so a case manager theoretically can help lots of folks, okay? Now, ideally then, case managers will do the following for injured workers, okay? This is when they're good. Number one is they help to make sure that the injured worker's treatment is on track. In other words, one of the things that if you're injured on the job, you should not be clueless about is, when is your next appointment? What is the plan? What are we waiting for? Okay, you should know. My next appointment is next month on the 3rd. And so case managers can often help injured workers make sure that their treatment is on track, etc. Okay? Number two, case managers can help with things like interpretation, transportation, to and from doctor's appointments if transportation is an issue. Number three, good case management will also make sure that you're not having to wait as much, potentially, for treatment to get approved, authorized, or scheduled. And finally, number four, a good case manager will help explain to the injured worker what's going on, maybe put the medical situation in plainer English than the doctor is able to, so that you as the injured worker can understand better what's going on, why are they recommending the kinds of care that they are, etc., what should care do, etc. So it's another person there to help explain what's going on. Ideally, if all of those things are happening, or if some of those things are happening, that's good. Here's where it can go wrong. Here's where case management can be wrong. Case management can be wrong because if the case manager starts to argue against or second guess the doctor. So for example, if the doctor says, well, I think you need 8 visits of therapy, and you start to notice the case manager is saying, well, why 8? Why can't we just do 6? Or if the doctor is saying, I think that in addition to injuring your left knee, you also have your left hip, and the case manager says, well, the left hip is not related. We're not going to approve that. So anytime you start to perceive the case manager as being someone who seems to be arguing against the doctor or pushing back against what the doctor is saying, then that's when they become a problem. If you see the case manager really isn't doing a good job getting your treatment scheduled or getting things approved, same thing. Then it's not worth having it. Or if you start to see that the case manager is starting to ask you questions or gather information from you that isn't related to your medical condition, but starts talking about settlement, or starts talking about quitting, or how you're happy with your employer, trying to get you to badmouth your employer, that's also a red flag as well. All right, so what are your rights as an injured worker if you're dealing with a case manager or someone shows up to the appointment? First of all, you control who has access to your medical records. You control who has access to your medical appointments. You do not have to permit a case manager into the appointment. You don't have to permit an employer into your appointment. Your appointment with the medical doctor should be between you and the doctor and anyone else. You and you alone decide, okay? So you get to control who goes into the appointment. Furthermore, you get to control who talks with the doctor. Now, problem is oftentimes insurance companies will have you sign papers saying you need to sign this, need to sign these, and one of these is a release, and that allows this verbal communication. So you've got to be careful on what kind of permissions you're giving. But in general, you still control to a degree who gets to talk with the doctor. Now, insurance company gets the medical records, that's fine, but the nurse case manager could get those medical records, but the nurse case manager doesn't have a right to be in the medical appointment unless you say so. Number 2 is the nurse case manager or the case manager can't even be in the claim at all, can't be involved at all if you say no. And so if you perceive a case manager as not being helpful, not doing those, one or more of those 4 things that I talked about, then you can say to the case manager, or you can have your attorney say to the case manager, no, thank you. Please cease your assistance. I don't need your assistance at all. Okay? And those are your rights as an injured worker in Colorado. As always, these things tend to be fairly detail-oriented, and whether or not a case manager will help with you in your case depends on a lot of factors, and that's why we offer free consultations. Please, if you have any questions, please give us a call at 970-356-9898. We offer free consultations. We help people on a contingent fee contract, and if you or anyone you know has been injured on the job, please have them call us at 970-356-9898. Give us a like, a subscribe, or a comment down below. Join us on our website. We'd be happy to chat with you and help you. And with that, thank you for spending part of your day today with me. Bye.